Hello and welcome back to the channel. Join me again for some more Mrs Winn tinkering and spraying and God knows what else. So this time I'm going to be working on the bonnet. So this time we're going to be tackling the bonnet. Obviously the paint on the driver's side there is hardening off nicely, and the passenger side also. So yeah, the bonnet then, it's had some micro blisters going on which have now poked through, so all that has to come off. I'm not sure if the camera's picking this up, but there's a lot of crazing started to appear, so it's time to tackle the bonnet and get it obviously all stained as well down the front. If I pull back slightly you can see how bad it is. I think basically moss had started to grow and it has ruined the paint anyway. I mean, when I first had the car many moons ago, I did do side on respray, but I never did bother with the bonnet. And as you can see there, the other week when I did the last video, I did just use a little bit of paint out the gun just to see how it would match against the wing. Now it's always been, the bonnet has always been a slightly different colour. I think you can just about pick it up there, there's a different shade. So once everything's polished up, the bonnet always does look different. The roof, I believe it still bears its original paint, but it is good and it's in good nick, so I am going to leave that alone for the time being. But anyway, I can now see where I've sprayed the front valance as to the bonnet there. There is definitely a colour difference, so the bonnet will need to be done. So all I need to do is flatten this back and just make sure that all these crazies are out of the bonnet, and hopefully may get it sprayed up today. So stay tuned, stay with me, see how we get on. So first things first, let's get the sander out, let's get the badge off, get the sander out and get a flatted back. So that's the badge out the way. There are two little plastic inserts there and just two pins on the back of the badge, so I don't need to worry about anything there, and luckily it's remained intact, so I'm rather happy with that. So I'm just using a 180 grit pad there on the detail sander. Seems to be getting through the paint quite well. I've done a good portion of the bonnet there. I've started with the top middle because I'm short and I can't reach, so I thought I'd get the hardest bit out the way. So I am breaking through this top layer of brown. Again, I'm not sure if the camera's picking it up, but I am getting through the top bit, and it looks like they're breaking through into the original paint, which is where I really need to be, because I don't know if you can now see it there. You can see all this crazing going on, just depending on what light I can get it in, if the camera will focus. I really need to get rid of all that, because it is quite bad, and I don't want to go painting on top of that because it'll only show up through my gloss anyway. So as much as I can get this down and try and get it down to the, I don't know if you can see, you know, there's a darker patch there, and then there's another patch there. So I'm not sure how many times this bonnet may have been blown over in its, you know, years before I had the car. I got Mrs Winn back in 2007, 2008. Bearing in mind she'd been used more or less every day up until that point. So yeah, I would imagine all the repairs that I've had to put right, it's probably been repaired about 3 or 4 times and probably blown over twice at least. So, but yeah, we're getting there slowly but surely. As you can see there, I've been sanding away with the detail sander, and now I'm going over the bonnet now with a Scotchbrite pad. I'll get that right now, a Scotchbrite pad. And just to take out some of the sanding marks. Going over this bonnet, there is different shades of brown. I've got a feeling that the lightest of the browns there is the original paint, maybe. But yeah, it is quite patchy now that I've sanded it down, but it is very, very smooth. Obviously minimised trying to get through to the primer, and this here was very, very thin. No sooner I touched it with the sander, it had literally gone through to bare metal. So a little, you know, quick spraying of primer there just to hide that. That shouldn't be a problem. This part of the bonnet had started to scab. I could just do with getting a little more there on the detail sander just to flatten that back out. Yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. And obviously you can see now where the paint blisters have come through. I think this bonnet may have been repaired, trying. I think this bonnet definitely has been repaired at some point. I don't think it's dented or anything like that, but I think it must have had a lot of stone chips in the past. And you can tell, see there, there's a lot of white primer underneath that. So it's definitely been sprayed once before. You know, the side of the car has been done by me before, but definitely not the bonnet. But looking at it, it's probably been done 2 or 3 times already anyway. So hopefully with a bit of luck, once I've wiped this all down, I'll be able to see if I've gone through all the crazing that was going on with the top layer of paint there. And we'll progress from there. So now it's just a case of going over with the Scotchbrite just to go over my sanding marks again. And what I'm doing is going up and down the bonnet and across the bonnet, so I'm going in 2 directions with that. So let's crack on. I've wetted the bonnet for 2 reasons really. Number 1, to get rid of all the dust, obviously, and then number 2, then now I can now see through, especially in the sunlight, to see if I've actually broken through where those crazies was in the paintwork, and it appears I have done. And as you can see there, it's different shades of brown. Hard to tell which is the original and which isn't. Yeah, all these are nice and smooth anyway, so I don't need to worry too much there. Just a couple of areas there again where I just need to go over with the Scotchbrite, so I can just feel it a little bit rough under my fingers there. But apart from that, I'll dry this off now and mask everywhere up and get ready to paint. There's a couple of areas there I just need to add a little bit of primer, just where I've broken through slightly, because in places it was really thick and in other places it was really thin, especially along this ridge there where it had been polished over the years. and on the edges of the bonnet there. The front end, yeah, definitely has all been repaired, given that there's, you know, underneath the brown there's white primer, then there's the original brown there to the original primer and the black coating on the metalwork there. So it's been repaired a couple of times by the looks of it. But yeah, all good. Just a case of a bit of primer along the front, a bit over here, a little bit down there, and a little bit here and there. And we're ready to go with some gloss. Obviously, got a mask everywhere up. Not sure whether I need to put the gazebo up or not. We'll see how we get on. So I've put the gazebo up because I'm now ready to start with the gloss. So the sheet will just take up the little bit of masking there that I need to do at the front. Basically what I'll be doing is going round the edges first, both sides, and down the back there. Obviously you can see I've already Scotchbrited the top of this wing, on it very lightly because I do want a little bit of overspray just to come over, and hopefully we'll get it to blend in with that crease on the top of the wing there. That's the plan anyway. Whether that works or not, we shall see. And then obviously I can put another sheet over there once that's dried off there. All I want is overspray, so once that's dried off there, I'll put another sheet over the wing. So all I'm left with basically then is the rest of the bonnet to do. Obviously I'll be going as heavy as I can on the bonnet because I want a real nice thick finish, and hopefully that'll try and keep some stone chips at bay should they appear. So we'll see how this goes. So at the moment now I'll just go and get some paint mixed up. Gazebo's up just because it's getting just a tad windy. It's getting a little bit cloudy as well, and I don't want any of these pesky seeds that turn up. I really don't want them getting on the bonnet, so I've only really put the gazebo up just to keep them at bay, and if a fly lands on it, well, I can't help that, and it is what it is. So let's crack on. All looks good for me, huh? Till you get up close. And there are bits everywhere. You can probably see it. And bits are still falling. Nice finish though, but yeah, there's no way something that big would go through my gun. Oh, fuck it. Oh well, shit happens. But it's yeah, I don't know if it can. Good finish though, but there's a lot of shit in it. Heck of a lot of shit in it. It's growing. It's actually growing shit, and I think it's coming from the gazebo. Fuck it. Fuck. Look at it. Fucking hell. So, as I'm standing here looking at my disaster, complete disaster, I'm seeing little bits still appearing on my bonnet. And I can only assume that this silver thing on the top of the gazebo, it's black on the outside, silver on the inside, and it's landed all over my bonnet every time we get a little bit of wind. Oh well. Right then, let this harden off, and then it'll be a case of hand sand it to see if I can rescue some of it, but there's just bits everywhere. It might be a saving grace that I've gone really, really heavy with the paint, but looking at the state of it, I doubt it. So, oh well. Shit happens. Oh well, that's just how things go, isn't it? Oh well, I'm no expert, I'll never pretend to be, and sometimes I get it totally wrong. Oh well, let's take this one to a part 2, I think, and see if I can rescue this paintwork in the next video. Not holding out much hope. Yeah, what can I say? Sometimes it just goes wrong, and you just got to go with it. Keep chin up, and start all over again. So, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below, and we'll see you in another video real soon. And as usual, take care of yourselves and each other. See you soon. Ta-da now.